Today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to take a look at a pedal. But before we do that, we'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel. Your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in the business. And in this case, Walrus Audio via our friends at Zzounds. I feel it necessary to say I bought this shirt.
It might be important.
I bought this shirt.
He used our affiliate link to do it, though.
Oops. So I got a discount is what we're saying.
You can do it too.
That's right. Pick one. But we're looking at the Walrus Julia version 2. It is a pretty magical pedal. I was going to read the whole description of how Walrus talks about the naming of it and the sound that came from the depth that they thought was the sound of an iceberg dragging, and now they have it of named after a mythical demigoddess, but demigoddess. But I won't say that because it's really awkward. We'll just get right into the pedal.
Skip it. Yeah, let's jump into it. So this is a precursor, I would say, to our chorus series. In other words, we're slowly diving into a series on the chorus. So if you like that Leslie sound or the tremolo series or that shakedown sound or It's Electra or the Univibe series, this is what's coming. We just haven't figured a couple things out yet.
Right.
So the Julia... we're going to do, let's break down the pedal really quick. We'll look at that and then we'll start getting into some sounds. I think the thing that sets the Julia apart from all the other chorus pedals we've looked at so far is the DCV knob. And so what you have happening here is if you go all the way to the left, it's just the dry signal.
It's the D, dry.
And then as you roll it up, you're starting to add in the chorus LFO, you're starting to add in the wet side to it. When you get to noon, you have that perfect mix of dry and then the wet sound. Mm-hmm. Then as you go past noon, so that's chorus, right? That's the C. And then as you go past noon and you go towards the V, you're taking the dry out. And when you get all the way to the end, it's just vibrato. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool. A lot of pedals will have the switch, like, oh, I can put it in chorus mode or I can put it in vibrato mode, which is also very cool. But this, you're actually able to kind of blend that, get those in-between points, which is pretty neat. And I think there's a couple times tonight where I did that. It wasn't all the way to vibrato, but I wasn't all the way to chorus either.
Right.
So cool. You have a little waveform switch here. If you have it up, you're in a sine wave. If you go down, you're in a triangle wave. Just think of, it's just the peak's a little sharper. Mm-hmm. So you can hear that pulse a little bit more. We'll show you a demo of that coming up. Of course, rate and speed, right? Faster, slower. And then I said rate and speed. Yeah, that's rate and speed. And then this is depth, right? So the depth, the higher you go, the bigger the amplitude of the waveform is, right? So rate is we squish them together, we spread them out, and depth is we make them bigger. Then there's this, we've had many conversations tonight about what the lag knob does. And from me, I would just be like kind of tighter, more focused, and gets more wobbly and crazy the higher up you go. And I think we have clips that will demonstrate that.
We did do that, yes. Yep.
So we'll wait till we get to those to dive deeper into that. Because it's kind of, if you read the description, you're like, I bet we spent 10 minutes.
We did. We had all kinds of theories. We threatened to put on lab coats and have laser pointers. But I think your description is about as good as it's going to get for us.
So, first clip. Over to you.
First clip we've been trying to do, even though this is a fledgling series, we always try to do something that is the same in all of them. And that has always been me grabbing the Silver Sky SE. We always use the DLS Effects Echo Tour and the Tyler. And I had it set almost on a pure chorus and just manipulated the rate and depth until I got it to sound the way that I like, and I played this.
For my first clip, I dial it into the chorus. Just I would say pretty standard generic chorus, which is the way I like to use it a lot of times. And then using it on something where I'm just kind of chugging chords. And so this is a little chord progression that we've used several times. I grabbed the Sire S7 FM. That was part of the little exploration we did on the HSS strats. We have to send this one back. I have a feeling this might be the last week for this one. So I wanted to grab it again.
If you sent it back and it didn't have a neck on it, would they understand?
Could I,
we just sent the body back?
Could I swap out this neck for another? Yeah. Yeah, here's what it sounds like. This is the time in the video where we're going to turn some knobs for you. We're actually trying a little bit of a different approach to this. We've done it in a couple videos. Tell us what you think if this is okay or if you or not. But instead of like talking and turning the knobs at the same time, we just kind of recorded some clips of us running through the knobs, and we'll kind of introduce what each clip is. Hopefully that keeps it moving a little bit faster. So for the first clip, we started with the depth knob. We had the lag in the DCV about noon. So chorus, lag at noon. Started with the depth all the way up, down, ran the depth all the way up, and then ran the speed knob. So you could hear the range on the speed knob, range on the depth. And that clip goes like this.
So the next feature on this pedal we wanted to explore was this little toggle switch that goes between a sine wave and a triangle wave. At times we thought maybe it could be a little bit subtle, but we tried to find a way that we played through some arpeggio chords with it up on the sine and then played the same thing, flipped it down on the triangle, and tried to rake through some chords so you could really hear what it was doing. So hopefully you can catch that. I think we set it up in a way you can hear that.
So we talked about rate depth, talked about the different waveforms. We also ran the DCV knob, started with all the way to dry. And I think it went up like a quarter of the way. So like right in between dry and chorus, all the way to chorus, right in between chorus and vibrato, all the way to vibrato. So you could hear that. Of course, there's still some in between sections, but I think you get a good idea of what that's going to sound like.
right, so now we wanted to explore the aforementioned lag knob that we were not exactly sure how to describe it, but now we're going to show it to you. The way we thought we would do it is we would keep the rate down pretty low, depth up reasonably high. Then you could really hear when it was to the left, it was kind of normal, kind of sharp, kind of focused. And the more you went to the right, the more it started to take off and get a little spacey and a little warbly. But even at its top, it didn't get totally wacky because we had the speed down. But if you were to turn that speed up and had it at the same time, you'd be taking off in a UFO or doing something. But this is our attempt to let you understand what the lag button does.
That's all the knob twisting we have. One of the things, then I was talking to Josh Scott way back in that Leslie Sound series. He was talking to me. We had some conversation about chorus pedals. So I know that chorus pedals can be used to get some Leslie Sounds out of them. There's some players that do that really, really well. John Schofield comes to mind. Anyway, so I wanted to see what the Leslie Sound could sound like in this pedal. And it's hard to get the slow sound, but you can do some pretty good fast ones. So here's the fast Leslie Sound. And then using that riff I played all through, the standard riff that we played all through that series. All right, for this next clip, whenever we try a chorus, I like to put a little bit of drive on it because I did love 80s music. But I grabbed the core Silver Sky that's, I think, making like its second appearance on the show. Still trying to get comfortable with this compared to the SEs. So I've had it in the 4 position. I grabbed the Keeley Blues Disorder with the OCD tone and the BB Drive, kind of a lightish drive, and had the Echo Tour and tried to play through things so you can get an idea of what it would sound like with a little drive on it. So for the last chorus pedal we did, I ended up doing a clip on the vibrato setting, which is like the first time I've ever done that. And it sounded really, really good. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take this, go to the vibrato setting. I'm going to take it. I don't know if I was all the way there, but I was It's been a while since I've done this, but I think it was pretty close to that. And just playing clean. And then to do that, I grabbed this PRS DGT SE that has Porter pickups in it, and we are falling in love with this front Porter pickup split. Sounds great. So this is that into the Julia. So when I got done with that last clip, I was wondering, like, how much difference does the lag make? Actually, when I was setting it up, we were playing with that, and it made a lot of difference. So I actually went back. It's like another run through the lag. Went back and just played a part of that over and over and moved the lag button around so you could hear all the way down. And I think initially, if memory serves me right, I had the lag pretty low because I liked how tight that was with it. But I wanted to hear that. I wanted to hear what that sounded like. So I ran it again.
So I was sitting over at the command center running the click the record button, and when the Beard got to the end of that and he hit a chord, it sounded like he was taking a chord shape and going up a fret, down a fret, up and down a fret, up and down a fret.
You mean like this? That's the clips for the Walrus Audio. Julia, final thoughts.
Here's something I say often. I liked it, and I used it several times before we shot this individual video on it. And it's really versatile and diverse because you have, obviously, the DCV, which is very unique. You also have the lag. So those are two wild cards. Even if you just use the rate and the depth, it sounds great. But then you can figure out, how do you want the lag? Do you want it to be a little bit more dry? When you got it pretty dry, it actually sounded a little bit like flanger. We didn't really show that. But then as you keep going all the way to the right, you get that vibrato that can get a little seasicky. But then you could decide, well, I'm going to turn the rate down a little bit, or I'm going to do something with the lag. So you had all these unique interactions with these knobs and these features, and could really get some great stuff out of it pretty quickly. I mean, without really spending too much time, or you could spend all night being like, well, I want this a little slower and I'll compensate with this over here. But it is a really a diverse pedal. One thing we didn't mention, it maybe not a big deal, the one light is the on and off, and the other one just will give you the visual of the rate. Because I'm not sure all versions of their choruses had that. But I really liked it. there's so many good choruses, but this one has some really unique features in it, and it sounded good, and it was really easy to use.
So I think my final thought is going to be everything Pat just said, and that's probably the reason you see this on so many pedal boards. Because, I mean, this was super popular on, especially the praise and worship boards.
Sure.
You know, those players, there's lots of them. Julia was super popular. In fact, I wonder if anybody will watch this video because it's been around and it's been so popular for so long. Maybe everybody already knows,
Right.
but we didn't know. So we wanted to get it in and try it out. Great chorus pedal. I don't have much more to add. I'm going to try and keep my comments short because Pat covered everything I was thinking. So anything to add? Are we good?
We're good.
Good.
I don't want to set it back.
Well, there's that. There's always that
There's
problem.
that. Yeah.
We could keep that with the Sire up there. And with that, thanks for watching. If you take the time to click the subscribe button, leave a comment, click like, all that stuff is free. And that's really the things. Interacting with the channel is what helps us interact with cool people like Zzounds. We've certainly interacted many times with Walrus Audio. They're great people over there. We've interviewed Colt before on some of the live streams we did back during COVID. And so it just helps out and we appreciate it. So with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.